The silent reason they pulled away. Have you ever liked someone, and then slowly, without any warning, without any fight, without any reason you could explain, you just stopped feeling it? No dramatic breakup. No betrayal. No big moment where everything fell apart. Just a quiet fade. Like a song you loved that started to feel distant. And the worst part? You couldn't even explain why. Maybe you've been on the other side too. Someone who looked at you like you were everything, and then one day, that look was just gone. If that's ever happened to you, this story is for you. Because what I'm about to share changed the way I see attraction forever. Here's the truth nobody tells you when you're young. Attraction is not just about how someone looks. It's not just about confidence, or the way they dress, or how they make everyone laugh in a room. That stuff pulls you in, yes. But it's not what keeps you there. What keeps you there is how someone makes you feel when the world goes quiet. When the date is over and the music stops and it's just the two of you in a car, or walking slowly, or sitting in silence. That's where attraction either grows, or starts to die. And most of us never even see it happening. Think about someone you used to feel strongly about. Maybe it was a relationship. Maybe it was someone you were getting to know. And in the beginning, everything felt electric. But then something shifted. They were always perfect. Every word was chosen carefully. Every outfit. Every reaction. Like they were never fully off. And at first, you thought, wow, they really have it together. But the more time passed, the more exhausted you felt. Because you realized you weren't connecting with a person. You were connecting with a performance. And deep down, your heart knew the difference. Or maybe it was something smaller. Maybe it was the phone. Every time you tried to share something real, something that mattered to you, their eyes drifted. To the screen. To the notification. To somewhere else. And you'd stop mid-sentence and think, why am I even talking? Because here's what we don't say out loud enough. Attention is love. When someone is truly present with you, it feels like warmth. Like safety. But when someone is half there, always half somewhere else, it sends a message your brain quietly receives even if you never speak it. You don't matter enough to hold my full attention. And attraction cannot survive that feeling for long. Then there's depth. Or the lack of it. We live in a world obsessed with how things look. How fit you are. How successful. How curated your life appears online. And somewhere in all of that noise, we stopped feeding the parts of us that make us truly interesting. The curiosity. The wonder. The ability to talk about something at midnight and make someone feel like the world just got bigger. When every conversation stays on the surface, when there's nothing underneath to discover, something in us loses interest. Not because we're shallow. But because we're human. And humans are drawn to depth. We want to feel like there's more to uncover. More layers. More soul. Without that, even the most beautiful connection starts to feel like an empty room. But here's where the story turns. Because it's not just about what we find unattractive in others. The real, uncomfortable truth is this: many of us carry these patterns too. And we don't even know it. Maybe you compare yourself to everyone on your feed and it makes you restless, insecure, impossible to please. Maybe you react to small things like their catastrophes, and the people around you never quite know which version of you they're going to meet today. Maybe when someone points out something you did wrong, your first instinct isn't to listen. It's to defend. To explain. To make sure you don't come out looking bad. Not because you're a bad person. But because you're human. And you're scared. And protecting yourself has become automatic. But here's what that costs you. Every time you defend instead of listen, the other person feels unseen. Every time your emotions spill out in every direction, the people who care about you start to feel like they're walking on glass. And slowly, quietly, without anyone meaning for it to happen, they start to pull away. Not because they stopped caring. But because loving you started to feel like too much work. That realization, when it finally lands, hurts. I won't pretend it doesn't. But it's also one of the most freeing things you'll ever feel. Because the moment you see the pattern, you have the power to change it. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be honest. With yourself, first. Ask yourself, do I show up fully? Or am I always performing? Do I make people feel seen? Or am I always somewhere else in my mind? When things go wrong, do I reach for connection? Or do I reach for defense? These aren't easy questions. But they are the right ones. Attraction, real attraction, the kind that lasts, doesn't live in perfection. It lives in presence. In depth. In the courage to be known, really known, and to keep showing up anyway. The people who hold our hearts the longest are not the ones who never made mistakes. They're the ones who made us feel safe enough to be imperfect too. So if you've ever wondered why someone drifted away, or why you drifted, maybe the answer isn't out there in some mystery. Maybe it's in the quiet moments you were half present. Maybe it's in the walls you forgot to lower. Maybe it starts, right now, with choosing to be a little more real. Because the most attractive thing a person can ever be, is genuinely, unapologetically themselves.